July, and we are anchored in Taylor's Creek off Beaufort, North Carolina. Probably have about 300 little powerboats coming by us every day.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle of a highway.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. There's one over there.
One in front of us, several down there.
Temperatures are soaring here in Beaufort, North Carolina, but that does little to slow us down. In this episode, we do some more provisioning, and Bill finishes the autopilot repair. Then he cleans Calico's bottom, and we're finally ready once again to set sail for Canada. That is, if North Carolina will let us out of its tight, spuddy little grasp. So we're just currently waiting for our food order to arrive. I was able to use Instacart and get a massive order placed.
Where's it all gonna go?
So I guess the lesson here is that when we say we're done provisioning, we're not done provisioning. We're never done provisioning, and it is so hot. Are you warm?
I'm hot. I'm melting. New course computer. Woohoo! Just gonna look at the connections now and hopefully throw it in the locker today and have an autopilot. This model is much more waterproof than our old one. You can see there's gasketed holes for the wires to pass through and a screw-on cover. Our old one just kind of popped out. Alright, so I've gotten all my tools together. I'm about to go in a hole and start seeing if I can make some connections. So I'm going to be connecting SimNet, which I think is basically a NMEA 2000, which is what the modern protocol for electronics is these days. I'm going to be mounting a rudder sensor, which goes here. I'm going to be mounting the solenoid engage, the drive engage, and the batteries. So, quick recap, this is what powers the actual unit. So this goes from the ship's batteries to the autopilot computer. These wires connect to the autopilot drive, which moves the arm, and then these goes to the solenoid, which engages the hydraulics. This will be the rudder sensor, which tells the angle of our rudder for calculations within the computer, and this will go to our network. So I think I'm ready to begin making connections here. Okay, so first wire up. This is the rudder feedback unit. I'm going to attach these. Alright, so I got some fresh copper here, and I'm going to attach it to the green connector. Okay, so I ran through the motors wire, which will go to the corresponding drive motor, and then I have in my hand the solenoid engage, which corresponds to the engage terminal there. Installation, dockside commissioning, hit standby. Alright, so autopilot, test. It's so much quieter.
That is so crazy. So in the spirit of keeping it real, this is really what our boat looks like this morning. This always happens in like various forms right before we leave. I don't know why. Probably because I have a shopping problem. We fit in one last shopping trip late last night and got a few more things and did a final load of laundry with a rather uncooperative dryer. So I'm waking up to clothes hanging everywhere and stuff everywhere, and it's always hardest to put away the last bit of provisions because at that point the boat's pretty much completely full. So that's what I'm doing today, and Bill's to-do list is worse than mine. So it's going to be a really full day. We might not be able to leave tomorrow, but we'll see. Coming to hang some clothes up. It's a beautiful day out here.
I feel like we're like the Beverly Hillbillies here. Clothes hanging, stuff everywhere.
Hopefully we don't get boarded.
They're trying to crack down on derelict boats and stuff, and boats that can't move.
Yeah, and
we kind of fit that description right now. It looks like as Grace goes to hang clothes.
Yeah, as I go to hang some wet clothes, and our cabin looks like that.
Yeah, if I boarded us, I would think we're like hoarders or something, and I'd kick us out of this town.
They've been cracking down on derelict boats here in Beaufort, North Carolina. We haven't been boarded since we've been here. We haven't actually seen a lot of authority at all. But yeah, if they board us today, well, maybe they'll just have pity on us.
Yeah. You guys gotta get out of here. It's my least favorite chore. It's time to mow the lawn, aka clean the bottom. I'm actually gonna use scuba equipment to do it this time around. We're in Taylor Creek with a bit of current, and visibility's not that great. And I figure I'm not gonna use the dive tanks for a while as we're going north and the water's gonna be too cold. While I'm at it, we haven't changed our zinc in probably a year or a year and a bit.
Electric current can damage Calico Sky's metal parts that live underwater, such as the propeller and shaft. So in the event that stray electrical current is moving through the water, the zinc will absorb it first, so that the boat's metal parts aren't damaged.
Well, the big day is finally here. We are very, very close to departing Beaufort, and it's very exciting. I don't think we're gonna miss Beaufort. Really not Beaufort's fault. Very, 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 very excited to be casting off. It is like 85 right now and humid, and there goes Bill. He's setting up the fenders and dock lines because we're gonna head over to that place, which is the gas dock, and get some more diesel and gas, and that is like the last thing we have to do before we leave. So we are pumped to go on this trip. Should be about 7 days. Knock on wood that everything works. We've tested everything, but the real test is the offshore waves and running the autopilot continuously for days on end. So here we go.
Where's the raw water?
Maybe I didn't knock on wood good enough.
Uh-oh. It's open.
Oh no.
The sea water valve is open, which means water should be able to enter as it normally would. So Bill moves on to check the raw water strainer for a clog.
Clogged?
Yeah, a little bit. What are the impellers doing? That wasn't that bad though, eh?
Coming out?
Not enough.
That's kind of a weak stream.
Yeah.
Next, Bill takes a look at the impeller to check for possible missing blades, but it's intact.
Maybe it's having a hard time priming.
Or will I turn the engine on?
There's a lot of water dripping out of this thing. Why? I don't have a good seal on here.
What is that?
A strainer.
Maybe, is it possible that it's clogged?
Maybe I need to redo the Teflon tape on here.
Oh.
See this like water dripping?
Yeah.
This means water's flowing from the seacock. See, that's just below the water line.
Okay.
So
then that would mean that the seacock's not clogged?
yeah, it's getting water at least, you know?
It's getting, okay. Maybe still possibly less water than it should though?
I'm not sure.
Nothing.
Nothing?
No. Less than before, I think.
Now Bill removes the hose connecting the seacock and the strainer, thinking there's a clog.
It's clogged.
Oh, I hear bubbles again. That's so crazy. So if there's bubbles, that means it's coming out, right? Not a lot more.
Someone's clogging it, eh?
You can definitely hear vigorous bubbles when you do that. Maybe some of it's just falling back in. Or maybe it's a barnacle. Like maybe it's not something that you can blow out.
Like... That's normal.
Why didn't you think it worked right away?
It's a little while the pressure of the pump has to get all the water through the system.
Okay.
Like the pump has to take it from the seacock. We drained all the hoses, right? So I had to fill the water inside the hose to the pump. Well, I guess that'll suck up the seacock, but then all the heat exchanger, there's a lot of stuff back there.
Okay.
I think we had a clogged seacock there, though.
Yeah, well,
I'd really blow that out.
And we're off.
That was kind of a push.
Yeah.
After today's trouble leaving, I feel pretty certain that North Carolina just did not want to let us go. Detouring here was not in the plan, but in the end, everything worked out. And like many times in the past, we faced the adversity together as a team. And now, as we set sail once again towards a destination of our shared dream, I let the past couple of weeks slip away and turn my attention to the future. What a wonderful feeling it is.